The dirty beast in Dock 17. Dock 17 was not a place anyone wanted to visit. It was cold, damp, and always smelled like burnt metal and old oil. But today, something new had arrived there. Something wild. A massive cage had been placed near the wall. Inside, a creature lay curled up, its thick fur soaked in green slime and gray dust. The beast growled low, its golden eyes glowing through the grime. It was taller than a man and wider than a small ship pod. Nobody knew exactly what it was, only that it belonged to the alien girl from Bay 7. Everyone kept their distance. Everyone, except one human. His name was Cal Bren. He wore a dirty jumpsuit and carried a mop and bucket. Cal wasn't important. He was a janitor. Nobody listened to him. Nobody thanked him. And he liked it that way. But today, Cal saw the beast. He saw how the others looked at it like it was a monster. And he saw something different. "That's not a monster," Cal whispered to himself. "That's just a scared animal." He walked straight toward the cage. "Hey, you human," a tall alien officer shouted. "Step away. That thing will tear your head off." Cal looked back. "Then it'll be the cleanest head it's ever torn off." People laughed nervously. They thought he was joking, but he wasn't. He dropped his mop, filled the bucket with warm water, and pulled out a soft brush. The crowd watched in silence as Cal slowly opened the cage door. The beast didn't move. It growled low, warning him. Cal knelt down and dipped the brush into the soapy water. "Easy, big guy, let's clean off some of that mess." He moved slowly, brushing the beast's front leg. The thick slime came off in chunks, revealing deep purple fur underneath. The beast's growl grew louder. Its claws scraped against the metal floor. Cal kept brushing. "It's okay," he said softly. "I've cleaned worse." The beast lifted its head and stared at him. Their eyes met. Cal didn't flinch. Minutes passed. Brush by brush, inch by inch, the beast began to relax. Its growl turned into a low purring sound. Steam rose from its back as warm water mixed with cold air. The beast shifted its weight and lay down. Gasps came from the watching crowd. Then, a voice whispered from behind them, calm but sharp. "Who gave him permission to touch my guardian?" Everyone turned. She stood tall and silent with silver skin and long black hair tied in glowing threads. Her eyes were bright green and her face was covered by a thin golden veil. She wore armor like it was part of her body. Her name was Galactic, an alien noble from the House of Vor, and that beast was her personal guardian, trained for war and honor. Cal looked up. "Oh, hi." Galactic stepped forward slowly. Her voice was cold. "You dare bathe a creature of the royal blood?" Cal dipped the brush again and gently rubbed behind the beast's ear. Figured he'd feel better without all this junk on him. The beast closed its eyes, clearly enjoying it. Solari's lips parted slightly in surprise. No one touches him without losing a hand. Not even me." Cal stood and wiped his hands on his jumpsuit. Well, maybe he just needed someone who wasn't scared of him. Galactic looked at him for a long moment. "You are not like the others." "Maybe that's a good thing," Cal said. "Or maybe I'm just crazy." The beast let out a long sigh, lying flat and calm for the first time since its arrival. Galactic took one step closer. "You gave him something I couldn't." "What's that?" "Peace." The silence was broken by a soft beep. The station cameras had been watching. Now feeds from all over showed the scene. A dirty human gently brushing a beast while a royal alien watched in wonder. Across the station, whispers began to spread. Who is this human? Why did she let him touch the beast? What does this mean for the houses? But Cal didn't care about any of that. He looked at the beast and smiled. "You're not so bad when you're clean." Galactic turned and walked away without another word, but she left one thing behind, a small golden card. Cal picked it up. It read, "Visit me, Bay 7. Soon, he looked at the beast. "Well, buddy," he said, "I think we just shook the whole station." The alien girl steps forward. Cal Bren couldn't stop thinking about the golden card. It felt heavy in his pocket, even though it was thin as paper. The message was clear. The alien girl, Zilari, wanted to see him. He was just a janitor. She was a noble from a powerful alien house. What did she want from him? He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Cal stood outside Bay 7. The doors were tall and curved, glowing with a soft blue light. 2 alien guards stood on each side, silent and unmoving. Their eyes tracked Cal's every step. "I have this," Cal said, showing the card. The guards scanned it. One of them gave a short nod and stepped aside. The doors opened. Inside was a room unlike anything Cal had ever seen. Plants with silver leaves floated in the air. A soft mist moved along the floor, cool against his boots, and at the center stood Zilari. She had removed her veil. Her face was sharp but beautiful. Her green eyes glowed, but they also held something else. Confusion, maybe curiosity, maybe something deeper. "You came," she said softly. "You invited me," Cal replied. "No," she said. "You were chosen by him." The beast. It lay on a soft platform near the wall, clean and resting. Its eyes opened when it saw Cal, and it let out a soft rumble. "He hasn't done that for anyone," Zilari said. Cal walked over and gently scratched behind its ear. Maybe he just needed a friend. Zilari watched, her hands behind her back. "On my world," she said, "our beasts are bonded at birth. They choose only one. I was his bond, until yesterday." Cal paused. "You're saying he chose me now?" She nodded once. "That can't be good," he muttered. "It is not," she said. "On my planet, this means shame. Dishonor." Cal stepped back. "I didn't mean to steal anything." "You didn't steal." He gave. "And now everything has changed." Suddenly, a hologram flickered to life above her desk. An alien with a silver crown appeared, face stern. "Zilari," the voice boomed, "your creature has shown weakness. Your honor is questioned. Return home at once." Zilari didn't reply. The message ended. She turned to Cal, eyes full of fire now. "They want me to come back and face punishment. They think I've lost control. They think a human has poisoned me." Cal raised an eyebrow. "Have you?" She didn't answer. Instead, she walked to a small wall panel and pressed her palm against it. A hidden door opened behind her. "Follow me." They walked through a long corridor lit by faint green lights. The walls were filled with strange carvings, stories of battles, of beasts, of bonding rituals. "This is forbidden space," Zilari said. "My ancestors trained their guardians here. They also kept their secrets here." At the end of the hall, a black door stood shut. "What's in there?" Cal asked. "What they don't want anyone to see." She opened the door. Inside was a small room filled with old scrolls, glowing data tablets, and a single metal pod. Inside the pod was a beast, just like hers. But this one was smaller and lifeless. "What happened to it?" Cal whispered. "It was mine," Zilari said. "My first one. He died after being trained by my father. Too much pain, too much fear." She touched the pod gently. "That's when I swore I would never hurt another creature again. But they called me weak. They gave me a new beast. The one you bathed." Cal looked around. "So, you've been hiding the truth." "Yes," she said. "But now that you've touched him, they will dig. They will come for you." Just then an alarm rang. Red lights flashed above their heads. "Security breach in Noble Bay 7. Unidentified force detected." Zilari's eyes went wide. "They're here already." "Who?" Cal asked. "Enforcers from my house. To take back the beast, and to silence anyone who saw what happened. Including me?" She nodded slowly. They ran back through the corridor. The beast had already risen, standing tall, growling deeply. Guards were down. Smoke filled the hallway. Someone had forced their way in. A large alien in black armor stepped into view. His face was covered, but his voice was ice. Hand over the creature and the human. Zilari stood in front of Cal. "No. Then both of you die." The beast roared, leaping forward. Chaos followed. Cal ducked as fire sprayed over his head. Xalari drew a thin blade and fought like lightning. The beast slammed, the armored figure into the wall. But more enemies were coming. Xalari grabbed Cal's hand. "We have to leave now." "Where?" "Off station, somewhere they can't find us." "You trust me that much?" She looked into his eyes. "I don't know why, but I do." They ran toward the emergency docks as the beast followed, roaring behind them, and the whole station watched in silence. Secrets behind the scales. The emergency pod blasted away from Station Arita 9 like a falling star. Inside, Cal, Xalari, and the beast sat in tight silence. Outside, the galaxy stretched in cold silence. Behind them, the station grew smaller, just a tiny light among billions. Cal didn't speak. He could barely breathe. Xalari was typing something into the pod's console. Fast. Focused. Her jaw was tight. "Are they chasing us?" Cal finally asked. She paused. "Not yet. But they will. House 4 never forgets shame." "What does that make me?" Cal said. "Shame?" Xalari turned and looked at him. "No, you are something worse. You are a question." He didn't understand. But he didn't ask again. The beast let out a soft growl. It had curled around the back seats of the pod, too large to fit properly, but it didn't seem to mind. Cal reached over and scratched behind its ear. The growl stopped. "We'll need to hide," Xalari said. "Not just from them. From everyone." "Why?" "Because what you did, what he did, changes everything," she pointed to the beast. "He chose you. And that breaks every rule my people believe." Cal leaned back. "I never wanted to break rules. I just didn't like seeing him dirty." Xalari smiled a little just for a second. "You're a strange man, Cal Bren. You're a stranger alien." She nodded, but her face turned serious. "We can't land just anywhere. We need a place no one dares to go." "Where?" "The hollow moon of Varna." Cal blinked. "Sounds friendly." "It's not." The hollow moon of Varna was a dead place. The pod landed in a cave of black ice and broken stone. Winds howled outside. Jagged crystals glowed, faintly in the walls, casting strange colors across the floor. "What is this place?" Cal asked. "A secret," Xalari said. "Only the broken ever come here." The beast leaped from the pod and began sniffing the air. Cal followed it slowly, watching the mist curl around its paws. Every now and then it growled softly. Not in fear, but like it was remembering something. They made camp deep inside the cave. Small heat cubes warmed the space. Xalari sat across from Cal, silent for a long time, then she spoke. "Do you know how my kind tames beasts?" she asked. Cal shook his head. "Pain. We chain them when they are young, starve them, then offer food in return for obedience." "That's not training," Cal said. "That's torture." "Yes," she whispered. "But we call it tradition." She pulled something from her bag, a thin collar made of silver and blue stones. She held it in both hands like it was poison. "This was his," she said. "My beast, before you met him. I was told he would never obey me until I used this." "Did you?" "No. I broke it." She dropped the collar into the fire. The stones cracked and blue smoke rose into the air. "That's why he began to trust me," she said. "But I never gained his full bond. I never earned it." Cal looked at the beast, who now rested beside him. "He doesn't need pain," Cal said. "He needs care like anyone." Xalari's eyes watered just slightly. Then the beast let out a deep growling sound. Not fear, not anger. "Warning." "Someone's here," Xalari said quickly. "Someone found us." Cal reached for the signal scanner. Red lights blinked. "They're jamming our pod," he said. "But I think they're not for soldiers." "What then?" A sudden voice echoed through the cave. "Stand down, travelers. This is neutral territory. We come in peace." Shadows moved on the cave walls. 3 figures stepped out, hooded, cloaked in long robes, each holding a staff that hummed with quiet power. "Who are you?" Cal asked. Keepers of the bond, the tallest one said. We watched the beast choose you. We felt it from across the stars. What do you want? Answers. The keeper stepped forward and gently touched the beast's head. This guardian is royal blood, yet he bowed to a human. No pain, no collar. This has not happened in 1,000 years. Zalari stood. He healed the creature. Cal made him feel safe. He saw him as more than a weapon. And what do you see in the girl? The keeper asked Cal. Cal looked at her. Really looked. Someone who wanted to be better, even if no one saw it. The cave was silent for a moment, then the keepers moved aside. Come with us. There is more you need to see. They followed the robed figures deeper into the mountain. A hidden chamber opened. Inside was a massive mural, carved into crystal and stone. It showed humans and aliens together, riding beasts, building temples, sharing knowledge. This is ancient, Zalari whispered. Long ago, the keeper said, our races were bonded by trust, not chains, not fear. But those stories were erased, until now. So why help us? Cal asked. Because if others see what you did, the keeper said, the galaxy might remember what it forgot. A loud boom echoed. The cave shook. Red light poured through the cracks. The keeper's face turned grim. But someone does not want that truth to live. They had been found again, and this time, it wasn't just Zalari's people. Whispers around the station. News of the beast's choice spread like a fire no one could stop. Though Zalari, Cal, and the beast were far from Station Arita 9, whispers had already reached every corner of it. The royal beast purred under a human's hand. The girl of House 4 let a janitor touch her bondmate. The noble alien and the human fled together, with the beast following them. Rumors turned into stories. Stories turned into threats. On Arita 9, secret meetings started. Dark rooms. Cold faces. The House Council watched everything, and now they whispered one thing. Destroy the proof. On the hollow moon of Varna, Cal leaned against the cave wall, still holding his side. He had been hit by debris when the blast shook the mountain. Blood soaked his shirt, not much, but enough to make Zalari's hands tremble as she tried to patch him up. You're lucky, she said. It missed the lung. Cal smiled weakly. You say that like being here is lucky. You saved my beast, she whispered. I'll save you. Nearby, the beast lay between the fire and the doorway, guarding them like a silent shadow. Its golden eyes glowed in the dark. A keeper stepped forward. This one was older than the others. His eyes were blind, but he walked with purpose. They found us, he said. Not your house, not your enemies. Then who? Zalari asked. The station itself. Cal looked up. What? Station Arita 9 runs deeper than it shows. It's not just a trade hub. It's a place built to hide truths. Long ago, the founders erased the bond between humans and beasts. Erased the past. Erased our memory. Why? Cal asked. Because a bonded beast cannot be controlled, the keeper said. And neither can a free mind. He handed Zalari an old data crystal. This holds the last full recording of the Bond Age, proof of what we were before the chains. She took it, eyes wide. If this gets out, the keeper said, your house will fall, but your people may rise. And if it doesn't, Cal asked, then you'll die here. Quietly. Like so many others. Suddenly the beast rose and growled deep. They're coming, Cal said, standing slowly. Above them, in the upper caves, metallic feet stomped on stone. A full squad of hybrid enforcers, part alien, part tech, descended into the hollow moon. Red lights on their shoulders blinked in rhythm. Their leader, Commander Voss, watched a glowing map. Heat signature, he said. Large beast, and 2 targets. He smiled. Burn them out. Cal and Zalari ran through the tunnels, the data crystal locked inside a small shield case. The beast stayed close, growling with each step. Firelight from the crystals on the walls flickered as blasts echoed behind them. They reached a fork in the tunnel. Left leads deeper, Zalari said. Maybe safety. Right leads to the pod, Cal replied. If we can reach it, we can send the proof to the open net. They looked at each other, then split. Xalari and the beast went left. Cal ran right. Behind him, blaster fire ripped through the walls. In Bay 9 of Station Orida 9, political guests gathered around a large screen. Footage from a hacked drone displayed Cal's run through the cave. One by one, they saw it. How the beast protected him, how Xalari held him up, how the alien girl chose the janitor. Some laughed, some frowned, and some leaned forward. What if it's real? One whispered. What if the bond is true? Then, everything we built is a lie, another said. Deep in the cave, Xalari and the beast reached an ancient gate, half buried in black ice. Symbols glowed as she placed her hand on the lock. It scanned her blood. The gate opened. Behind it was not just a hiding place, but a chamber of memory. Walls of glowing glass showed hundreds of scenes. Children riding young beasts, humans and aliens building homes together, laughter, kindness, unity, a forgotten history. The beast looked around and made a soft sound, something between a growl and a cry. Xalari knelt beside him. You remember this, she said. Don't you? He nudged her gently, then turned to the shadows behind them. Blaster shots echoed. They had been found again. Cal reached the pod, panting, bleeding. He plugged in the crystal. The ship's system scanned it. Data type, forbidden archive. Send to, OpenNet. Cal slammed the button. Yes, send everything. A countdown began, but Commander Voss stepped into view. Too late, he said. His soldiers surrounded the pod. Cal raised his fists, even as they shook. Then suddenly, a roar. The beast crashed through the wall, throwing dust and stone everywhere behind it. Xalari, sword in hand, eyes blazing. Touch him, she said coldly, and you'll see what a beast's wrath looks like. Voss turned, to fire. But Cal was faster. He hit the emergency flare. A burst of blue light blinded the soldiers. Xalari and the beast charged. Chaos. Stone cracking. Fire burning. Screams and steel. Cal dove for the pod. The signal bar blinked green. Upload complete. It's out, he shouted. The truth is out, Voss roared. Then you die with it. But the beast leapt forward, wrapping Cal and Xalari. In its arms, an explosion swallowed the cave. Hours later, on every screen in the galaxy, the truth played. A human bathing a beast. An alien girl watching in awe. A world that once was. Returning. The attack in the dark. The galaxy didn't sleep that night. Screens blinked in stations, homes, ships, bunkers, and backroom cantinas. Old secrets were no longer secret. The ancient bond between humans, aliens, and beasts was no longer a myth. It was seen, felt, and shared. Cal's face. Xalari's voice. The beast's roar. Millions watched as the video spread across the starnet, and somewhere deep inside the Galactic Council Tower, a hand slammed down on a red button. They lit the fire, the voice growled. Now we extinguish them. On a frozen ridge of the hollow moon, Cal opened his eyes to the cold bite of wind and pain. His ribs hurt. His left arm was tied in a splint. Xalari had patched him up again while he was unconscious. The beast lay nearby, wounded but breathing strong. You're awake, Xalari said, sitting by a flickering heat core. Her armor was cracked and one side of her face had a thin burn. How long was I out? Cal whispered. 3 hours. The pod is gone. Buried under half a mountain. But the message, it reached them. Cal sat up slowly. You okay? She nodded, but her eyes were darker than before. No one from my world has called me. No one from yours has either. That means both sides are waiting. Waiting for what? Permission to kill us. Far away, Station Orida 9 changed. Open, conversations turned into closed meetings. Humans and aliens began whispering together in corners, trying to understand what they had seen. Was it true? Could humans really form such a pure bond with the sacred beasts? And if so, what else had been a lie? Security drones rolled out across, The station. Officers were replaced. Cameras turned toward the people instead of the stars. And above it all, Commander Voss stood in the high tower, looking down. "Prepare the black tide," he said to his lieutenant. "But sir," the officer hesitated, "that's only used for war zones." "Then mark this moon as one." In the cave, Cal and Zalari shared a dry ration bar. The beast lay between them, licking its wounds slowly. "You know," Cal said, "I used to clean toilets." "Now you clean legends," Zalari replied. They both laughed, though it hurt their ribs. Then suddenly, the beast growled. A pulse of dark energy rippled through the cave, strong enough to shake the stone walls. "What was that?" Cal asked. Standing fast, Zalari touched her sword. "They found us again." The air outside the cave shimmered. Then, screaming engines, dozens of black-armored drop pods fell from the sky like daggers. The black tide had arrived. Each pod released soldiers, tall, faceless, wearing tech armor that could bend light and confuse senses. They moved without words, without mercy. Zalari led Cal and the beast through the lower tunnels, deeper than they'd ever gone. She lit the path with a small core lamp. Around them, ancient murals began to appear, glowing slightly when they passed. They showed humans and aliens standing beside beasts, not above them. "We're going the wrong way," Cal said. "We should be going up, escaping." "No," Zalari whispered. "We go to the heart." "What heart?" "The beast's memory." At the center of the moon, they found it, a chamber built around a glowing lake. The water shimmered like glass. The ceiling above was shaped like a beast's eye. In the middle stood a stone platform with strange carvings. "This is where the first bond was made," Zalari said, walking slowly. "Before the war, before the chains, before the lies." The beast stepped forward and bowed. Not to Cal, not to Zalari, but to the place itself. Outside, the black tide found the entrance. "Flush them out," Voss ordered through the comlink. "No survivors." They dropped motion mines, charged shock drills, and the rock began to shake. Cal stood on the platform, arms out. "We can't fight all of them." Zalari raised her blade. "Then we don't." "What?" "We show them." The beast stepped onto the platform. Glowing lights circled its body. Strange marks appeared along its skin, ancient runes of a lost species. Cal stepped beside it. Zalari did the same. They placed their hands on the beast's fur. The chamber lit up. The lake glowed bright, and the ceiling cracked open. Not with destruction, but memory. Light burst from the chamber, carrying images to the sky. Holograms of peace. Love. Loyalty. Not stories of war, but family. Across the galaxy, every ship, every screen, every soldier saw it. And for one moment, even the black tide paused, even Voss stared. "What is this?" he whispered. A drone recorded Cal, Zalari, and the beast standing together, bathed in ancient light. One soldier dropped his gun, then another, then two more. Inside the chamber, Cal whispered, "It's not a weapon." Zalari nodded. "It's a memory." "And a future," Cal said. But far above the moon, Voss clenched his fists. "I want that moon turned to dust," he screamed. "Now!" His ship began to charge its main cannon. Zalari turned to Cal. "We have one shot. What is it?" "We awaken the final memory." "How?" She pointed at the beast. "You must speak to him, not with words, with your heart." Cal knelt before the beast. "You trusted me. You healed for me. Now I ask, protect us. Protect this truth. Not just for us. For everyone." The beast's body began to glow. Then, roar. Light exploded from its mouth and eyes. A shield rose from the lake surrounding the moon in glowing armor. As Voss's ship fired, the beam crashed against the shield and shattered. The sky shook, but the moon stood strong, and the galaxy watched. The Council's ultimatum. The blast wave spread across space like a pulse of thunder. Commander Voss's flagship, once the symbol of fear across the stars, now floated, crippled above the hollow moon. its main cannon destroyed, its command deck torn open like a cracked shell. But no one on the bridge moved. They all stared at the moon below. Its surface now glowed with the golden shield made by the beast. An ancient power returned, a power they didn't understand and couldn't control. Inside the broken command room, Voss roared and struck the control panel with his fist. This is not a beast. This is a weapon of rebellion. Behind him, his second-in-command stepped forward slowly. "Sir, the High Council just sent a message." Voss turned, blood dripping from his knuckles. "Read it." The officer swallowed hard. "They demand the surrender of the girl of House Vor and the human who bonded with the beast, or they will strip your command and erase all who follow you." Voss's jaw tightened. They think they can threaten me? But deep down, even Voss knew he was losing control. The galaxy had changed overnight. And Cal Bren, the human janitor, was now more dangerous than any general. On the moon below, inside the ancient lake chamber, Cal stood quietly with Xalari and the beast. Light still shimmered around them. The chamber's memory pool reflected their faces, tired, scarred, but strong. "We're alive," Cal whispered. "For now," Xalari said. "But they won't stop. What if we run? We already ran." The truth caught up with us. She pulled a small communicator from her belt. The signal was open. Messages from across the stars poured in. Some were hopeful. Others were deadly. "Your people think you betrayed them," Cal said, reading one. "And yours think you're leading an alien war," Xalari added, scanning another. They both laughed, bitterly. The beast let out a low, calm sound. "Maybe," Cal said. "It's time to stop hiding." On Station Arita 9, a massive council meeting was called. 12 seats. 12 races, each more angry than the last. They watched the footage again. Cal bathing the beast bowing, the shield forming, and the explosion stopping the weapon of war. It was no longer a story. It was history unfolding. "We can't allow this bond to exist," spoke Counselor Drex of the Voran. "It threatens everything, our power, our peace." "You mean your control?" snapped Ambassador Thal, a human representative. "The people are asking questions. Maybe it's time we answered them." The room filled with shouting. Then the screen shifted. A live broadcast began and Cal's face appeared. "This is Cal Bren," he said, standing with the beast and Xalari at his side. "I'm not a hero. I'm not a soldier. I was a janitor. I still don't know why the beast chose me. Maybe because I didn't see him as a monster." He looked at Xalari. She didn't either. Not really. She was trying to change, even when no one believed she could. "And maybe," Cal continued, "that's what scares you. Not the beast. Not us. But the idea that the old ways can change." Xalari stepped forward. "I was raised to obey, to silence emotion, to treat the beast as a tool. But I failed, and in failure I found something better." She reached out and placed her hand on the beast's head. "We don't want war. We want freedom. For those like him, like us. For all who were taught to kneel." Cal nodded. "We're not hiding anymore. If you come for us, come knowing we'll stand. Together." The feed ended. The galaxy paused. In hidden places, people whispered. In secret rooms, leaders panicked. And in the shadows of forgotten stations, movements began. A girl with metal wings lit a torch of rebellion. A desert clan released their bonded wolves for the first time in generations. A boy in a broken colony touched a wild beast, and it bowed, but not everyone was moved. On a black moon near the outer rim, the council met in private. "The bond must be broken," Counselor Drex growled. "Or we break." They activated a hidden project, codename Silencer Protocol, a clone beast, grown in labs, born for destruction, designed to hunt and destroy its own kind. Its name, Korath, and its first target, the Bond-Bearers. On the hollow moon, Cal stood outside the lake chamber, watching the stars. "They'll be coming again," he said. "Yes," Xalari replied, "but this time we'll be ready." She handed him a blade, crafted from the same crystal that lit the ancient murals. "You're not a janitor anymore, Cal. He smiled. No, no, she said softly. You're a guardian. Behind them, the beast growled and looked up at the sky, because it could sense something coming, something dark, something born to kill the bond. The day the beast roared. The stars above the hollow moon twisted with strange energy. Ships appeared, silent, black, and cold. They came without banners, without warnings. They didn't fire. Not yet. They didn't need to. On board the lead ship, behind a wall of red lights and thick glass, stood a creature like no other, twice the size of Zalari's beast, armored in bone and steel, eyes burning like twin suns. Korath, the silencer. The clone born to erase all memory of the bond, a voice echoed through its chamber. Your orders are simple. Find the bonded ones, kill the human, break the beast, make the galaxy forget, and Korath roared. On the moon below, Cal Bren could feel it. Not in his skin, in his bones. The air was thinner, the light dimmer. The beast beside him stirred, rising slowly. It growled, not in fear, but in recognition. You know what's coming, don't you? Cal said softly. The beast didn't answer. It didn't have. Larry approached, her armor now marked with the glowing runes of the old bond. Her sword glimmered with the same light that once protected the ancient ones. They sent Korath, she said. Who? Cal asked. A beast without a heart, made to destroy those who have one. The keepers of the bond, those few who survived, in secret gathered around the lake chamber. We will hold the shield, said the elder keeper. But it won't last. Not against him. Then we fight, Cal said, stepping forward. You cannot match Korath, the elder warned. He was made to win. Cal looked to his beast. Then we'll have to remind him what losing feels like. The enemy landed without sound. No fire, no announcements, just the heavy echo of Korath's claws scraping the stone as he entered the cave. He stood in the middle of the great mural hall, where images of love, loyalty, and memory surrounded him. And he growled. The murals cracked from the sound alone. Cal and Zalari stood side by side at the lake's edge. Behind them, the keepers chanted softly, raising the golden shield one last time. If we fall, Zalari said, we fall as truth-bearers. Cal nodded. We fall as family. The beast walked forward and stood between them and Korath. The clone beast paused for a moment. It seemed to hesitate. Then it charged. The fight shook the cave. Korath moved like lightning, smashing stone walls, sending shockwaves through the ground. His claws slashed the air, and his tail shattered ancient pillars. But the bond beast was not afraid. He struck back with pure fury, faster than Cal had ever seen, fighting not just to survive but to protect the ones who gave him peace. The two beasts collided again and again, light against shadow, heart against hollow. Cal and Zalari fought too, against black-armored soldiers who poured into the chamber trying to stop the transmission of truth still spreading through the stars. They moved as one. Zalari's blade danced like wind. Cal's fists, though not perfect, struck true, his movements guided by instinct, not training. He wasn't a warrior, but he was enough, because he had something stronger than skill. Purpose. As the battle raged, Korath slammed the beast into the floor. Dust flew, bones cracked. No! Callie shouted, running forward. Korath raised his claw, aiming for the final blow, but Cal didn't stop. He stood between them, bare hands, no armor, no weapon, just a broken man, protecting the bond. Korath froze. He looked into Cal's eyes, and for a second, something changed, but just as he moved to strike, the bond beast leapt from the ground and roared louder than ever before. The roar wasn't just sound. It was memory. It was every bond, every truth, every pain, every joy. It hit Korath like thunder. He stumbled back, his armor cracked, his body shook, and in that moment of weakness, Zalari's blade struck true, into his core, into the heart he was never supposed to have, and Korath fell, not as a monster, but as a mistake. finally set free. Silence. Then light. The cave glowed again, brighter than before. The murals repaired themselves. The lake shimmered with warmth. And across the galaxy, millions watched. As a human, an alien girl, and a sacred beast stood together. Alive, unbroken, victorious. In the days that followed, everything changed. The council was forced to open the archives. The bond was no longer a myth. Beasts were freed from chains. New schools were built, where humans and aliens learned side by side how to listen, how to protect, how to love. Cal Bren refused medals. He went back to cleaning, but this time, everywhere he went, people smiled at him, because he was more than a janitor now. He was a guardian of peace. And beside him, always, was the beast who chose him.